All right, everybody, today we got a motion picture starring Kevin Peter Hall as an alien that hunts human beings for sport. And it's not called Predator. Let's do it. All right, today we're looking back at the criminally forgotten Without Warning from 1980. Before we go any further, you know how the routine goes. To the trailer.
The hunting season has begun. But the hunter isn't human. Only the prey are. It came without warning. Like nothing on this earth.
Our friends are dead.
Beyond any known terror.
Not a horrible creature. Come on. It's chasing me.
Because when it leaves this planet, no one may be left alive.
Look, I'm warning you. When they start eating on you, don't come to me for help.
Baby!
He came down here with a sport. He wants to get himself a few trophies. And you know what? Right now, you and me, we are the prize game.
The hunter. The hunted.
There was no tree.
The thing that preys on human fear and feeds on human flesh. From deepest space it came, and now man is the endangered species. It came without warning, and now it's coming for you.
All right, this motion picture was directed by Greydon Clark. Now, Greydon Clark, I mean, come on, I'm just going to spit out some titles and you know what he's all about right from the get-go. He did movies like Joysticks, Satan's Cheerleaders, Angel's Brigade, Black Shampoo. You get it. Right from then and there, you know what this motion picture is about. So let's just get going to the whole cast and hit that up. Okay, playing Joe is the legendary Jack Palance. I mean, legendary. Come on, folks. We all know the face. We all know the gravelly voice. We all know the pushed-in nose from when he used to be a boxer when he was younger. Jack Palance is about as cool as it gets. And he was in a million motion pictures. He was in everything from Young Guns to Gore to Blood and Bullets, One Man Jury, Cocaine Cowboys, The McMasters, Barabbas, and of course, the iconic role in City Slickers. Man, come on. It's Jack Palance. He was such a treasure, such a shame that he's gone. Such a legend. Does a great job in this as he always did. Took every role and everything seriously. Whatever, let's keep rolling. Okay, playing Fred, or AKA Sarge, was Martin Landau. Now, Martin Landau is another guy with a monstrous career, and I mean a monstrous career. He was in everything by North by Northwest. He was in Tucker, Man in His Car, Man in His Dream. Why is it slipping my mind at the moment? He was in things like Crimes and Misdemeanors. He was funnier than all hell and Ready to Rumble as the old gym coach teaching the kids to wrestle. He was in Eye of the Stranger, Meteor. Probably to a lot, he'll always be remembered for his role in Ed Wood, which he was just phenomenal in. But to me, he'll always be remembered as the commander from Space 1999. I mean, I used to love Space 1999 when I was a kid. God knows it's dated kind of badly. It looks kind of hokey and kind of stupid as times have moved on. But I love Space 1999. And to me, that will always be Martin Landau. All right, let's keep going. Playing Sandy was Tarah Nutter. Now, she never really had a career that really amounted to much. I hate to say that, might sound a little bit cold, but she was in stuff like Nero Wolf and what else was it? Head Over Heels and a couple other, like, you know, some TV movies and things like that. But she was only in 6 or 7 things, and her career basically came and went, and she disappeared from the scene. Wherever she is now, I don't know. But she did a good job in the movie, played her part, did her thing. Let's keep rolling. Okay, playing Greg was Christopher S. Nelson. Now, Christopher S. Nelson, if you watched TV back in the 70s and early 80s, was on a lot of TV shows. His movie career never panned into any great big deal, but you recognize the face. You've seen him. He was in things like, I actually was in another movie that did kind of have some notoriety, which is Roller Boogie, but take that for what it is. But he was on a lot of TV shows. He was in stuff like Emergency, Marcus Welby, Adam 12, Co-Ed Fever, you know, for anybody remembers that thing. His career kind of came and went too. No idea whatever became of him. No idea where he is today. But did a good enough job in this movie. I mean, his acting wasn't probably the best, but he... Whatever. I don't want to say anything bad. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, playing Beth was Lynn Thell. Now, this is a fun one, because she was also in another motion picture that I absolutely am crazy about. Humanoids from the Deep. I mean, you gotta love Humanoids from the Deep. It's just the way it goes. Pardon me. Anything with Doug McClure in it, you know is going to be automatically fantastic right from the get-go. But Lynn Thell was in that. She was in Humanoids from the Deep. She was in things like Hollywood Boulevard 2. She was on TV shows like Chips and Vegas and stuff like that. So Lynn Thell came, went, whatever, but blonde-haired girl, you remember the face. She popped her up around on the scene. Whatever. Who cares? Let's keep going. Okay, now the one guy in here that was one of the youngins in this motion picture that, you know, led to the slaughter was David Caruso. Now, David Caruso went on to have a really, really big career. We're talking, he went from this, he was in First Blood. He was the one cop that, like, wasn't an asshole in there. You know, remember that? He was in things like Kiss of Death and Jade and whatever of that nature. But really, what he was famous for was his TV roles. He went on to be on NYPD Blue, and he left and went off to be a big movie star, and it didn't work out. So he wound up coming back to TV, and he was on CSI and a bunch of other kind of junk. So David Caruso, out of everybody in this motion picture that wasn't already a legend, went on to probably have easily by far the biggest career. All right. And you cannot talk about this motion picture without talking about probably its main star, which is Kevin Peter Hall. Kevin Peter Hall played the Predator in the original Predator. He played the Predator in Predator 2. He played Harry in Harry and the Hendersons. And he was in another movie that I absolutely love called Prophecy, where he was playing this mutated man-bear pig, inside joke, where he was playing this big mutated monster, and that, you know, was running around. It was a big bear, whatever the hell it was, who cares? But he was also on TV and motion and stuff like that. He was on Night Court and Dukes of Hazzard and 227 and ER. Sadly, he passed away way too young. Tragically, you know, got HIV through an operation and a blood transfusion and shit. And the world lost him too soon. But Kevin Peter Hall, according to everybody and anyone, really quality guy, really nice dude, really gone too young. Anyway, let's keep going. And I got to mention too, this movie has several bit parts, whether it's the barmaid or people in the bar, and they're all actors that have been on the scenes for a zillion years. I'm not going to cover them all, except for one, and that is the Scoutmaster, Larry Storch. Larry Storch was on his quadrillion TV shows back in the day. I mean, you name it, he was on it. He was truly legendary. He was on everything. He was on The Flying Nun, All in the Family, Emergency, Mannix, Police Story, McCloud, Grizzly Adams, which was classic. He was on the Hardy Boys, but he will always be remembered for something that never gets any airplay and totally pisses me off. F Troop. I loved F Troop. And F Troop it's never on in syndication. I never catch it in rotation. I never see it anywhere. And I don't understand how that is, because F Troop was funny as all hell. But to me, Larry Storch, F Troop, superpowers united. I love the show. He was awesome. I don't know why I don't see more of it floating around on late night TV. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's get going to the story of this thing, huh? All right, everybody, the story of this motion picture is very, very, very simple. There's an alien in the woods killing anybody that goes into the woods. That's basically it. You've got young teenagers or early 20s, whatever the hell they're supposed to be, and they're going out on a camping trip / swimming trip to a swimming hole, whatever the hell they're doing. And the local townsfolk warn them, don't go out there. There's, you know, you may never come back, this, that, and the other, because they know something's going on. The kids don't listen. They go out there and death starts taking place. You've seen this a million times in a million motion pictures. The plot has been used, overused, and used a million times again. The only thing that's different about this one is that instead of it being Jason or a masked killer or a guy wearing a hood, the guy doing the killing is an alien. That's all there is to it. There's not much more beyond that as far as the story. I can go into it and talk about how it starts out with a father and son going hunting, and, you know, they run into the alien. Or I can tell you how it's, after that is the Boy Scout troop, and they're out there looking for stuff, and there's a little bit of comic relief, and the alien, he kills the Scoutmaster. And then it turns into teenagers. I can walk you through this, but there's no point in that. The story is so simple, I don't want to ruin it by just puking the whole thing out there. Watch the movie. You'll get where it's going. What I told you is enough. Let's get to why this movie rocks. Alright, I'm going to tell you why this movie is legendary. First off, for a cheesy little motion picture that looks like it was filmed for basically no money, and I mean no money. All the money had to go into Martin Landau and Jack Palance and some of the names in this thing, because it looks like it was filmed in about 200 square feet of the same riverbed. I mean, every time you turn around, somebody's either hunting and it's in that same part of the riverbed, or the scout kids are getting lost and it's the same part of the riverbed. It looks like it all takes place in the same place. It's like 2 or 3 little teeny weeny sets in about 100 square yards of the same riverbed. They could have filmed this basically for like $3,000. It really looks that way. But this motion picture had the benefit of being filmed, cinematography-wise I'm talking, and lit by Dean Cundey. Now Dean Cundey, we all know he's from all the John Carpenter flicks. Or most of the John Carpenter flicks, especially the early ones. And then he went on to have a huge career as a cinematographer in Hollywood. So he could take a motion picture that was filmed with a camcorder and 8 people and make it look like it came out of a Hollywood production house. That's the kind of job he does with lighting. Always has, always will. Phenomenal cinematographer. So you got that, making this motion picture look a little bit better. Beyond that, the story is very simple and concise in of itself. It just is what it is. It doesn't try to become anything bigger or more grandiose or a bigger message. It's nothing but a simple drive-in movie type of thing. These kids, they go out into the woods and they find out that there's an alien hunting human beings. He kills the scoutman and he keeps them in a shed, a utility shed of all things. I mean, for the love of God, how can you not love that? The Larry Storch character of the scoutmaster is just enough comedic relief. Just enough to make you laugh once or twice without breaking past the point and being stupid. He reminds me a lot of the character that Dick Van Patten played in Beware the Blob, or sometimes called like Son of the Blob or whatever. But it's that kind of thing. A bunch of Boy Scouts out there and you got this somewhat neurotic, for all intents and purposes, Boy Scout leader leading them. And he gets killed and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that was my own personal remembrance of that. Okay, moving on. But the reason this motion picture works is it keeps a nice steady pace to what it is. It's really trying to set up some kind of scares. It's really trying to make you feel like, oh my God, this is like a frightening motion picture without a giant budget, without a lot of excess to make you go over the top. There's no special effects really. The alien is basically this wooden-like character that just walks around. I mean, they put green makeup on his hands. He's got this big bulbous head. You never really see any expressions or anything from him all that much, except for one time they click a light on and you see him, he's kind of like, yelling, and they make like an elephant scream in the background. But other than that, you don't really see that much of him but a silhouette. The biggest, most terrifying thing in this motion picture are the little creatures that he throws, these little like sucker starfish that he throws, and then these little teeth come out of him and they try to eat you. You know, they just burrow through your neck or they burrow through your skin or whatever the hell is going on. It simply is the definition of a motion picture that was done well, shot well, made well, with little or no money, at least the way it appears, with little or no giant locations and all this other kind of stuff. It's a simply small contained motion picture that was done well, written well, acted extremely well by Jack Palance and Martin Landau, who's completely over the top. All the teenagers play their parts really well. You know, everything works on all kinds of levels. It's slightly done in an eerie pace where it just works and it's just enjoyable. This is a drive-in motion picture, double feature feeling movie from back in the day. Check out Without Warning. I think it's on YouTube for free right now, or you can definitely find it floating around online. Without Warning, a great, simple, basic, but fun retelling of classic horror with an alien. All right, everybody, go check out Without Warning. Have a good time. Peace, love, happiness. See you soon.